Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babalao. At least I hope so. Omo doing Dileke coming at you. So I received a request from the Help Me Help You video. I got a lot of hits, okay? A lot of people email me, message me. A lot of people are curious about their Awofaka and their Ikofa, which is their Mano de Orula. Let me throw the disclaimer out there, okay? Each and every one of you have a Babalao that gave you the Mano Orula. The right thing to do is always respect the wisdom and the knowledge that's coming from the Orula that birthed your Orula. Does that make sense? So always look to your Godfather for guidance. All I'm doing is giving a interpretation and a perception of the sign. All right. Now with that being said, let's talk about Obara Meji, okay? For one of my viewers named Natalie that has Obara Meji with Oshun. Something about Obara Meji that I want people to remember is that on Obara Meji we talk a lot about the Eguns. When we talk about the Eguns and we kind of couple that with Oshun, we talk about a very strong pack. We talk about somebody who needs to pay attention to their dreams. We talk about somebody who needs to, if you don't have a cat, or if you own a cat, it's probably a good idea, because then that sign, that's where the cat became a slave to Orula and Obatala. And that cat is the one who started to give luck and bring richness to Orula and to Obatala. And because of the Eguns, don't forget, you got to go back a little bit and you start talking about Egyptian times and how they used to honor the cats. A lot of that is all tied together. So cats should be honored and respected. The other big thing about Obara Meji comes a lot with the insecurities. Because in Obara Meji, there's a lot of betrayal that occurs. Issues in the home. Obara Meji needs to be very careful with those things, because those issues in the home can manifest. Okay? Now for Obara Meji, because now I'm talking about a woman, and it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a male, we talk about infidelity. Obara Meji is a twofold. Either you could be the culprit or you could be the victim. Be careful that you don't sleep outside of your relationship or your marriage, or infidelity comes in many different ways and forms. It doesn't always have to be something sexual in nature. Obara Meji has to be very careful with those things, especially when we talk about Obara Meji with Oshun, because Oshun has a very feminine side to him. And Oshun, because Oshun has a huge pack when we talk about the Eguns, Oshun needs to ensure that the Eguns are not manipulating some of the actions that are occurring in Obara Meji's life, if that makes sense. Some of the other big things about Obara Meji has to react to things immediately. Don't think about it, okay? If you have to do something, I want you to think about it just to the point where you want to make sure you're doing something that is worth doing, something that's going to rationalize it. But what I don't want you to do is to procrastinate. Don't be a procrastinator, if that makes sense. Obara Meji can't do that, okay? And say what you mean. However, have some tact. You can't just come out and splurt out exactly what you see. All right, the baby's ugly. You're not allowed to say the baby's ugly. You got to explain why the baby's ugly so you don't hurt nobody's feelings. Okay, and Oshuns should be very good at doing that, because they should be able to sweeten things up. What Oshuns don't do very well is that they don't just come out and say things immediately, or they come out on the opposite side of that and they say things too fast and they say things without tact. So you got to be very careful, especially with this sign Obara Meji present. And then, you gotta get a little bit more confidence when we talk about Obara Meji, when we talk about Oshun. Okay? Sometimes we look the part on the outside, but on the inside there's some insecurities that need to be resolved. Okay? Understand what that is. And here's something that I would tell you. Always keep a calabash, right? A pumpkin next to your Orula. Okay? Obara Meji, there's a pataki that talks about where the che comes from the calabash. Put the calabash next to your Orula, Okay, when you have time, put it next to your Ishu Elewa. Okay, so that you can begin to open up those doors for those problems in your life that you just can't seem to manage for whatever reason. And lastly, one of the evils, one of the taboos, one of the things you don't need to do in your sign is no cornmeal. Okay, don't eat cornmeal. Don't ingest it. You know why? Because there's going to be cornmeal that's going to later on be used as an embo to help you and save you. So with that said, if you haven't heard my video on Oshun, go ahead and take a look at it and take a peek at it. Oshun is a very beautiful divinity with a lot of beautiful things. Okay, and then when you mix it with Obara Meji, I told you a little bit about Meji. There's a little bit of frosting on the cake there with Obara Meji. So with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberland. There you go, Obara Meji for a daughter of Oshun. Ache.